Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm back. Hopefully, you feel comfortable. All right, everybody. Hopefully, everyone's ready now to see what VCM's magical controller setting is. Right? Everyone's wondering, how do you get that there? I never able to get it. All right. Hopefully, this helps. Okay, I'm gonna go from the least important to the most important. That way, everybody kind of like gets ready to hear. Don't be shocked, don't be alarmed. Alright, just keep an open mind, alright? I've gone through like several controller settings, but these are the ones that I have now, okay? I'll talk the ones in the past if you leave a question, or just kind of just rant on about it right now. Alright. For my least important like buttons, I would say I have shield on X. Shield is like the one that I have that is like the least important. Reason being is because sometimes you want to mash air dodge. So what I do is like it's easier, a lot easier to mash on these buttons than mashing on my top button, like my right trigger. It's really hard. Or if you're using GameCube controller, Z, if you keep it there. All right, so whatever it is for you, if you're using Wiimote, like if you're using Wiimote, let me just tell you this: you're a man. You're a man. I used to use Wiimote before, but like. My Wiimote messed up, so I'm not known like the guy that uses Wiimote anymore. And I had a Pro controller at home, so I picked it up. I used to use GameCube before. I used to use GameCube, then Wiimote, and then I think GameCube again, and then then Wiimote, then Pro controller. Yeah, I went through a phase. Well, it's just that my friends like they came over and they didn't own in the beginning when we first started. They didn't own their own GameCube controllers. So now some of them do. That's good. And my other more competitive friends, they obviously own GameCube controllers. But I like the wireless, you know, I got used to the wireless. But let's move on. Alright. So X, I use it to mash air dodge. So stuck in that situation. So as long as I have it's not that useful having two shield buttons basically. It's not really that useful. Just for comfortability or basically availability, so it's a lot easier to mash. That's like my primary reason to have that there. And my next button that's kind of like not that useful either would be I have for Y, I have jump as well. And you're gonna be wondering, well, that's just kind of like stock, right? It just comes in that way, right? And like that's how like a lot of like nobody moves that, right? Basically nobody moves that. Well, let me tell you this, it is pretty important for me in this occasion because it allows me to mash as well jump. And if you notice, it's a lot easier for me to just get footstools. I have like no trouble doing them, especially like if I do like a combo. Oh, I didn't lock him. Of course, it doesn't really work with him like that well, but I should have picked a character that did, right? Oh well. Yeah, so it's a lot easier for me to just mash footstool and just go down and lock them, right? So it's really good for mashing. It's a lot easier than using one of your back buttons, right? Or like your whatever you have. So that button is really comfortable for me just to mash. It's like I could mash really fast, and it's like just helps my mobility like a lot more. All right. So what is my next button? Okay, my next button, that would be more of a nod, right? It would be my C stick. My C stick, I have it set up for tilts. So now if I do a lock, I could walk up to them. I'm trying to put them at a percentage. Let's see. Okay. 1, 2. Let's see, one more. Alright, you see, like even like that was kind of like a little difficult to do that. So it helps you walking up and down tilting. Because if you have like the C stick set for smash attack, it's hard to like stop completely. If you notice, like let me stop and then let me stop and do like down tilt. Oh, it's not that hard actually. If I get a little the little step dash right. Alright, so yeah, you could do that. Step dash in, right? You don't really need a you don't really need the C stick. Yeah, but I have this also if I want to walk up and up tilt. And if I had this problem where I accidentally mashed, accidentally used the hit the C stick, and I end up doing a smash attack, and people punish me. Side smash not that punishable, but if they hit you during, like, or right after, like instantly, or I do up smash or down smash or something like that, or it's just not the right move, right? It doesn't give me enough time to shield or to run away or to like buffer another option, and I get messed up. Like I do a side smash and like they're stomping, and I was trying to like pivot side tilt, and if I did pivot side tilt, it would be like it would be a lot easier to sometimes get away with things, right? Not all the time, of course. It's kind of like situational. So yeah, that happens too. I don't want to like accidentally use side smash, because you give a lot of stage control with side smash. It takes a lot of charge up. Other than like side tilt, there's like not much. You don't give away that much stage control. All right. So yeah, I have that for that, and my next thing that I have that is, this one's probably one of the more preference based, is tap jump. I have tap jump on, and everyone's gonna go. Tap jump? No way, you're a noob. Well, yes I am, but like, it's really helpful. It helps with kind of sometimes reactionary or just having control, and I'm gonna talk about that right now. Why it's kind of like why I like it, right? Why I like it specifically, and just having your controller, like sometimes it feels kind of weird when you don't have your tap jump on. Because you just feel like very stuck on the ground. Like you don't feel like you can go in a circle on your controller. Like it feels very odd. You feel kind of like stuck. But it's a feeling you gotta get used to, and eventually, like, I know there's benefits to not having tap jump on. But I've been using it for years because of since the first Smash game. Like there was like no controller settings, and you couldn't really do anything about it. And I feel like my mobility is more on point with this, so it's more preference. But sometimes I want to react to things and I can't, because unless I keep my hand or my finger in the button, like my jump button, it's a lot easier. It's not that hard, but like it's not that easy for me to do these. Well, at least the reverse ones. Like I can't do them out of my jump, like, if you notice, but you can't fast fall them as fast. You still have to like. You have to learn your timings a lot harder, where like, okay, I do tap jump, then like I go back, or I go back and then tap jump. It's like really difficult. And when you have your tap jump on, there's not much timing. It's just like doing a circle, or like doing like different movements with your fingers other than timing, you know, like it's a lot easier that way. So you could actually focus on your timings a lot faster than actually having to like memorize the timings of how you press your buttons. All right, so that one's a lot more preference based. But here comes the important part for why I like having tap jump on, especially for MetaKnight. Here comes the MetaKnight stuff. Sometimes when you're like, or not sometimes, every time you play MetaKnight, have you ever had the problem where you can't really handle your uppers properly? You always miss the combo. Trust me, I do that a lot. I drop that combo, even though I know I can get it. It's because we don't really have control of how we move our uppers up and down, left and right. And this has to do with two things. They're tap jump on, and the most important thing is you don't have a jump button set to trigger. And that's, you're gonna be what? Scratching your head. And yeah, and let me tell you this. When you use full jump and then you try to use your full jump again, it's kind of like the same thing with the button. Like if you have tap jump on. Let me see if I could do uppers. It's really hard to kind of like time yourself again. It's kind of hard to actually full jump. But when you have your full, like your button set to trigger, you don't have this problem because your right hand isn't busy doing the claw and uppering at the same time. Have you ever tried to upper and claw, like use your jump button on Y at the same time? It's very hard actually. And when you have that jump button set on the trigger, you don't really struggle doing that hard. And even if you're just using your tap jump, like it's a really big struggle. I could like upper, like short hop, and I could like do full uppers, short hop, and fast fall them with like no struggle that way. And I could cover landings, and I could do many things. Handling your uppers is much easier when you have your right trigger, because after doing having tap jump on and just doing a short hop, then you could just hold the trigger button with jump, which for me is left Z trigger, because I'm using Pro Control like I said. So I could do short hop up air with either, I could claw it and I could use my jump button on my right hand, or I could just short hop it because it's a lot easier for me, and then just hold the jump button on my Z left trigger. Short hop, then hold it. I could just go with the motion of the up airs, and as I hold the jump button, I can easily just drift forward if they're dying away, or drift backwards after doing an upper. Or if I'm in the platform, I could cancel them a lot easier. Upper. So I really don't use tap jump for like full hops. I use for short hops I use my tap jump, but for my full hops, anything that's full, I use my button because it's easier to just hold it. Especially if I'm doing reverse aerials. If you notice, I'm doing let's say if I want to get a jab lock, I could easily go turn around and just press or just kind of like quickly tap my ZL button and do a short hop, or I could full hop a lot easier. And it gives me so much time. It's a lot easier to just turn around. It's super easy that way. It allows a lot of tech to be used. So that's why I have my tap jump on and my jump button on the trigger. You need that because it's a lot easier to just hold the button and just keep going. So especially after a dash attack that you're like just boom and then upper and just take them up and away. It's a lot easier going to the motion and just controlling your uppers as it is, because sometimes you're like stuck and you need to go slower, slow them down, and just like boom. Have you that happen to you? And just having that control and being able to fast fall them, because you're like dash attacking and then you need a upper short, but then you go up and then up or down, and I need to just keep them at a certain height. Right there I had to fast fall, but if I didn't have my my ZL button set to jump, I would have had to let go of the button and press again, which that's why I have my right button over here, my Y button to jump. It allows me, or if I just use my tap jump. So I recommend that switch one of your trigger buttons to jump. It even allows you to like do things like, let's say like 70%. I'm just gonna try to put them at percentage. So Hopefully I don't kill him. One more. Okay. That's good. Sometimes you're trying to run up and back here them and you can't really get that kill that way. You can't even get down that easy. Well, after running, because you're running and it doesn't give you time to turn around. And with that, it's like instant. Watch. Let me do it again. That way you can see it. It's instant. And they don't really they really don't see it coming sometimes, especially because they just see you running. And you're just running, and it's just like a quick turnaround. I could even do it short. And if they're really short, I could fast fall it too. This looks funny actually. So that's the reason why I have all these things like that. My tap jump and my jump. It allows me full mobility with MetaKnight. Even especially just manage my uppers properly. Down, left, right, up, wherever I want to go. Reactionary, short hops are super easy with once you get used to them with tap jump on. Yeah, you could use a button. It's a lot easier, but I just find it a lot harder to fast fall. But it's good to do it, to have that availability too, and not just use a tap jump to short hop, because you go much further with just your regular button, because you could hold it, or you could just kind of keep DIing that way, and it allows you to go further. And look at when I try to use tap jump, it's a lot. I have to kind of go forward, jump, and then forward again, which is possible, but doing all that is kind of more annoying. But if you have to do that in order to have that full mobility, it's sometimes that's why I prefer tap jump, because once you get used to it, it never messes you up. Just I'm gonna say it this way, but in my opinion, it could be wrong. It's never messed me up to the point where I buffer the jump because I have tap jump on. That's never happened to me. I don't know. It just never happened to me. It's happened to other people, but I could see why though. Because you have to get used to it, and it takes time, and sometimes you're moving so quick or trying to do a tech that it takes a lot of hand movement or strenuous positions that it just kind of messes you up, right? But once you get used to it, for me personally, tap jump is really, it goes really well with that trigger button on jump, with jump on it, and being able to manage your uppers and move and do reverse aerials really easy, and really complements MetaKnight's kind of movements. Alright, I think that's it for the most important. So I would just recommend get a trigger button for jump. That way you could after your first one, you could just hold it and just move left to right, or up and down, and still keep being able to move wherever you want. If you want to go a little crazier, you could use your Y button or X button, whichever you prefer, to jump as you're moving, kind of forward, just individually, upper. You would have to claw it, and you would have to get used to it a lot. It's possible, but it feels impractical in the beginning, but it could be more optimal, because as you're moving forward, you would be able to even fast fall a lot easier, because you're using a individual. But you would have to go back and then buffer forward at this instantly, if you really want to manage upper by upper, or you could use your trigger button. It's not that bad. I'd rather hold it and then let go and go again. For me, that feels really comfortable. It feels really comfortable. It's kind of the same thing that I just mentioned, but but you don't have to claw it. Like I said, the clawing part is the thing. It's really difficult to and sometimes being uncomfortable like that doesn't really help, to be honest. And And once you get used to it, like in melee, it's not that really hard. Melee, whatever you want to call it. I call it both because I like them both. Sometimes I say melee, sometimes I say melee, or melee, or however you feel about things. So if you don't want to cloud things, and you react faster and have availability and simplicity, you want to have that button to jump. If you don't, if you like holding a like a hamburger, like in a claw position, you can keep doing that. There's like nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. So everything basically comes down to preference. But that's my controller settings. That's what I do, so I can manage uppers a lot easier. That way I could get even dash attacks uppers, and then if they land on the platform, I would be able to get a grab or up tilt, whatever, down tilt. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Whatever's more comfortable for you, whatever basically works for you. There's no magic controller. I know it's kind of like upsetting. There's like no magic controller for MetaKnight. There really isn't. I'm just stating what is much more effective for me, much more useful, and everything that I do. It depends your combo game, whatever it is. In the end, you want to just have your controllers based on your style. This is my my controller settings. If you have a very defensive style, just do something that complements whatever defensive play you're using. For me, I'm more of an offensive player. Usually most Meta Knights are very offensive players. They like to do a lot of getting in a lot, basically. You kind of have to when you play Meta Knight. But yeah, this was like what I have and what's gonna help you. Mostly what helps me and doing my combos primarily. That way I could get my uppers. So basically I just have my settings in a way I could use my uppers and all my tech like quickly. Alright, this was BCM and hope you enjoyed. Hope you had a great time.